Welcome to Golden Bachelor. If you love celebrity news and real entertainment updates, you're in the right place. Today's story is one of those rare journeys that reminds you how unpredictable life can be, how love can carry people through the unthinkable, and how sometimes the strongest families are built through the hardest battles. This is the unbelievable, heart-melting, and at moments surprisingly funny journey of a Bachelor alum whose life changed forever when welcoming her second child. A moment that almost broke her ended up becoming the moment that defined her. Our story begins with someone fans around the world already know for her spark, her energy, and her unforgettable presence, Crystal Nielsen Bowles. From the days of dramatic rose ceremonies to sunny beach romances, she had already lived a lifetime of plot twists on TV. But none of that prepared her for the real-life adventure she was about to walk into. After finding love beyond the spotlight and building a new life with her husband Miles, Crystal was excited to grow their family once more. Their first child had already brought joy, chaos, and those adorable, messy morning moments every parent knows too well. So naturally, baby number 2 felt like the next perfect chapter. Crystal always shared glimpses of her growing belly, her glowing smile, and those funny little moments where she joked that the baby was already practicing karate kicks inside her. Her fans adored it. They felt like they were right there with her, watching her life blossom into something soft, warm, and beautiful. But life has a way of surprising us, even when everything seems perfectly planned. When Crystal headed to the hospital for her scheduled delivery, she expected the typical mix of excitement, nerves, and maybe a little humor sprinkled in. The kind of day where you say things like, "Okay, this is it. This is the day we meet this little human who's been treating my ribs like a trampoline." But the universe had a very different, very intense plan in motion. What she thought would be a straightforward delivery turned into a long, exhausting waiting game. Hour after hour passed, and despite her strength and patience, things simply refused to move forward. Anyone who's ever experienced labor knows those hours feel like a lifetime. And Crystal? She powered through every moment with every ounce of courage she had. The doctors stepped in to help things along. The plan was simple. Try to get the baby moving, give Crystal some relief, and keep everything progressing. But that's the moment when everything begins spiraling in a direction no one expected. The baby wasn't descending. He was lodged in a spot that made delivery impossible. Crystal knew something was wrong, not because anyone said it, but because she could feel her body struggling in a way that felt scary, overwhelming, and deeply unfamiliar. Then the unthinkable happened. Doctors quickly realized that her body had gone through something extremely dangerous, something that could have changed everything in a heartbeat. Their voices grew serious. Nurses rushed with urgent purpose. Miles held onto her shoulders, grounding her, refusing to let her slip into fear. In that moment, time didn't feel real. All Crystal could hear was her own voice praying, hoping, and holding on to the love she felt for the little boy she hadn't even met yet. As the medical team worked with precision, Crystal endured a storm she could never forget. Her world became a blur of pressure, movement, emotion, and instinct. And in the middle of it all, she cried out in a mixture of pain, fear, and fierce determination. Miles stayed right beside her, steady, strong, doing everything he could to be her anchor. If love had a shape, it was his arms around her in that moment. The doctors acted fast, and that speed made all the difference. Her baby boy entered the world under circumstances no one ever expects, circumstances that left the entire room breathless. He didn't cry right away. He was whisked away instantly, and Crystal could only watch through blurry eyes as the tiny human she fought so hard for was taken for urgent care. Those minutes felt like forever, because all a mother wants in that instant is to hear a cry, any cry. But sometimes, life doesn't give us what we want right away. It gives us time, space, and a moment to hold our breath before the miracle reveals itself. Crystal was rushed for surgery while her newborn son was carefully cared for in intensive treatment, surrounded by a team devoted to protecting his little body. For days, she couldn't hold him. She could only think, hope, and pray that this tiny warrior was fighting with all the strength he had. And he was. When she finally held him 4 long days later, Crystal felt something that no words could properly describe. Not joy, not relief, something deeper. A love woven with fear, gratitude, and the quiet knowledge that life had almost slipped away, but didn't. She and Miles decided that this moment, this miracle, deserves something powerful, something symbolic, a yearly tradition to honor the cold temperatures their baby endured during treatment, temperatures that helped save his mind and body. And so they created a new ritual. Every year they would lower themselves into icy water together, not as a challenge, but as a reminder of everything they survived. A reminder that love can endure more than we ever imagine. A reminder that families are not only built through laughter and comfort, but also through storms, tears, and the moments that almost break us. Fans around the world flooded her with love. Messages of support, awe, and relief poured in. People who had been following her since her TV days couldn't believe the strength she had shown. Many called her baby boy a miracle. Others said Crystal herself was the miracle. And honestly, they were both right. Today, the family is home, safe, together, a little shaken but stronger than ever. Little Rowan, the tiny fighter who came into the world under the most dramatic circumstances imaginable, is thriving. His sister adores him. His parents cherish him in ways deeper than words. And Crystal, well, she looks at her family with a grateful heart that knows exactly how precious life is. This story isn't just about fear or danger. This story is about love, relentless, stubborn, unconditional love. It's about a mother who refused to give up, a father who held her up when she couldn't steady herself, a little baby boy who fought his first battle before he even opened his eyes. It's a journey of patience, devotion, humor in the chaos, and romance woven through every terrifying moment. And in the end, it's a reminder that sometimes the greatest miracles come from the most unexpected places. Sometimes the strongest families are forged through fire. And sometimes the deepest love stories don't begin with a rose ceremony. They begin in a hospital room, with 2 souls holding on to each other through the hardest day of their lives, only to walk out stronger, closer, and more beautifully connected than ever. If this story touched your heart, stay close, because more beautiful journeys, more real stories, and more incredible moments are always on the way. And always remember, love doesn't just survive the storms. Sometimes it's born from them. Heart. Thanks for watching Golden Bachelor. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next big story.